Okay, so today's class is going to be a joint freeing series. It can be done either from standing, seated in a chair, and at some point we will come seated to your mat, so you can also remain in a chair. We will be in tabletop, and at one point towards the end we'll be in supine. We're going to start today from standing, and with your feet a little wider than your hips, nice and parallel if possible. Weight centered around the foot. So you want to find weight in the middle of your heel across the ball mound of your foot, making sure that you can get the ball mound down. Try lifting the toes. You'll feel your arches lift and your ankles engage. And then set the toes back down, spread them out, and try to soften the feet a bit. Start with your hands at your hips, and we're going to draw a few circles with your hips, taking the hips around the feet. You're choosing a range of motion here, just starting to warm up a bit in the low body. Always keep your knees soft when we're standing, just so there's no locking out of the knees. Reverse the direction of your circles, take it back the other way. Good. Once you're even, adjust your stance to a comfortable position. So that might mean the feet stay just as wide. If you're seated, you might open the feet a little wider or take them closer together. If you're from standing, they might be hips-width distance apart. Do what feels best to you. Maybe take a little rock back and forth. And then we're going to inhale, raise your arms over your head. As you exhale, let the arms drop and swing. We're going to do that a couple more times. So it's an inhale and a forceful exhale out. Inhale, big exhale. Feel free to exhale out the mouth as well. Inhale through the nose. Couple more here. Warming up the body. Good. Keep everything soft, including the knees. Last time. Now you're going to lift the arms level with the shoulders, palms rotating down towards the mat. We're going to inhale, lift the palms as if you were pressing the wall away from you. And then as you exhale, rotate your palms down so the fingertips face the floor. Inhale up and exhale down. It's a reminder to keep the knees soft so we're not locking the knees. Keep the glutes slightly engaged, belly gently inwards. Couple more here. Last one. Now let the hands go neutral. We're going to turn the palms so they're facing upwards to the ceiling. Curl your fingers into a fist. Flex and point that fist back and forth a few times. Go ahead, draw a few circles. Take the circles in the other direction. Good. And then once you're even, once again, we'll rotate the palms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bend the elbows, place your fingertips on top of the shoulders. As you inhale, re-extend your arms, trying to keep the elbows the height of your shoulders. Exhale, bend. Good. Inhale, straighten. 4 more. Exhale. And inhale. 3, 2. Good. From here, keep the elbows bent, fingers to shoulders. We're going to draw a few circles, taking the elbows around. These circles can be as big or as small as needed. If you feel any persistent popping or pain in your shoulders, you might shorten the range of motion, make the circles a little slower. We're going to reverse that direction, now taking the elbows down, out, around, and in. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Notice if they're starting to hike up towards your ears. Keep the neck in a neutral position. Good. Let's take one more revolution. As your elbows come out to the side, lift them in line with your shoulders. Now take the palms to face forward so your arms are in a goalpost or a cactus position. From here, you'll inhale. As you exhale, we're going to start to rotate the fingertips towards the floor, but trying to keep the elbows the same height as the shoulders. And then you'll inhale back up. This one might be a little difficult, so you're taking it at your range of motion. Inhale back up. Good. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Good. Now we're going to inhale, take the arms up, reach them overhead. Once your arms reach up overhead, turn the hands so the palms face you. Inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to slowly bring the arms down and reach back behind you as far as you can while pressing the palms towards each other. Good. Inhale, reach it up. Soften the knees. Exhale, take it down. 4 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. 2 more. And last one. Exhale down. One more time. We'll bring your arms over your head as you inhale. Now connect the palms. Again, soften the knees. Exhale, trace your midline, bringing the palms together at the center of your heart. Now pull the palms down slightly until your elbows go out parallel or horizontal to the floor. Press the palms together until you feel a little bit of engagement in the armpits, the biceps, maybe even in the back of the shoulders. You're going to press the palms together and resist as you start to push your hands to your right as far as you can without twisting your upper body. And then you'll press the palms back to center and over to the left as far as you can without twisting your body. We're going to add a head movement here. Everything will come back to center. As you exhale, press the palms to the right, turn your head, look to the left. Come back to center, head and hands. Exhale, press the palms to the left, look to the right. I'm going to do that a couple more times. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, press palms right, look left. Good. Inhale, back to center. Press palms left, look right. One more time, each direction. Center. Palms go right, head goes left. Center. Palms go left, head goes right. Good. Come back to center, hold here. Now we're going to start to turn the fingers forwards and then as far down towards your navel as you can. Once you have that, drop your chin to your chest. You're going to get a little bit of a passive stretch in the back of the neck and shoulders. One more breath here. Good. Now lift the hands back to the center of the chest. One more rotation. You're going to start to bring the fingers towards your chest as much as you can. And then from there, we're going to interlace the fingers. Now press your palms forwards. Let everything round, stretch it out. Good. Big inhale. Take the palms to the ceiling. As you exhale, find a side bend to your right. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Find a side bend to your left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, press the palms back forwards. One more time, we're going around. Now as you inhale, separate the hands. Turn the palms so they rotate towards me. Press the backs of the hands back. Open your heart as if you were spreading wings. Good. As you exhale, we're going to round in, bringing your right palm over your heart, left palm on top, chin to chest. Good. Inhale again. Open the arms wide. Press the heart forwards. Now it's going to be left palm on the bottom, right palm on top. One more again. Inhale, open. Good. Exhale, bring it in. Once more. Inhale, open. Good. Exhale, pause. Drop the chin just slightly. Stand a little taller. Now just relax the arms, the shoulders. Close your eyes if it's comfortable from standing. If you're from seated, maybe adjust your seat so it's comfortable to close your eyes. We'll just take a few moments here to connect back with your breath. Feeling the rise and fall of your shoulders. The expansion and contraction of your chest against your palms. Soften the knees, muscles of your face. Allow your breath to flow. Exhale all the air from your lungs. Let your arms release down beside you. Open your eyes if they were closed. Inhale, circle your arms overhead. Exhale, tracing your midline, bring your hands to your heart. Good. From here, we're going to come down to seated. We'll do it from a half sun salutation flow. I'm going to turn to face the top of my mat. If you have yoga blocks, feel free to grab them. It might make it a little more accessible to go down to the mat. If you're seated in a chair, you can also remain in the chair and do the forward fold sequence from the chair itself. So from here, again, I'm in a neutral stance, feet about hips-width distance apart. As you inhale, sweep your arms forwards. As you exhale, we're going to fold, so bend the knees a lot. Reach out over your thighs so that your belly drapes over your knees. Head and shoulders will be over the ledge of the knees. Hands could come to your body themselves. Resting on the body will take weight away from your low back. You can also place your palms on blocks as well if that's just as accessible. Maybe give your head a little nod. Good, we're going to lift halfway up. Bring your hands to your thighs, lift your chest until your back is flat. And then as you exhale, take a bigger bend into the knees. Place your fingertips on your mat. We're going to come back to tabletop position. So you'll step the right foot back and immediately set your right knee down. Step the left foot back, setting the left knee down. From here, come onto all fours. Shoulders over wrists with your wrists slightly forwards of your shoulders. Knees and hips width distance apart. Inhale, from here, we'll find cow pose. Drawing your chest forwards, lower your belly, lift your tail. Exhale, we'll find cat. Tuck your tail, roll through your spine, and bring your chin to your chest. Few more here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Couple more. This can always be done in a chair, hands to your thighs, moving the upper back. We're going to take one more round of cat-cow. And then we will come back to tabletop once more, but for now we're going to come to seated. Let the knees shift to one side, lowering the hips. And you're going to bring your legs around and forwards. Now, options for a seated position is whatever feels most comfortable to you. I'm going to work in a cross-legged seat. If cross-legged seat is not okay for your knees or ankles, you are free to come to butterfly, soles of the feet together, maybe even inching the feet a little wider. You're free to sit on a block or a pillow. I'm going to grab a pillow to place under my hips. Makes cross-legged a little more accessible. We won't be here too long, but we will be doing some movement from this position. Again, you could simply have your legs extended forwards out in front of you. You just want to be able to stack your shoulders over your hips, have some elevation there, and lengthen through the spine. I'm going to start palms down on the knees. Again, whether you're from seated in a chair, whether you have your legs extended forwards, you're in cross-legged or butterfly. I'm going to do a couple seated cat-cows from here. So as you inhale, press against the knees, pull the heart forwards and up. And then as you exhale, I'm going to slowly start to round through the upper back. Pull back against the knees, chin to chest. Inhale. You might be able to find some movement in the pelvis here, tilting the pelvis forwards. And then as you exhale, the pelvis will tilt upwards, navel to nose. Good, we're going to take 5 more. Inhale, forwards and up. Exhale and round it back. Inhale. And exhale. Good, 3. 2. 1 more round here. Lengthen, come to neutral, shoulders back over the hips. You're going to keep your left hand on your left knee. If you're on a block and you feel like you're a little too high, you might remove the block at this point. We're going to take the right fingertips down to the mat. We're going to come to a side bend to your right. So you'll just slowly start to bend to the right, walking the fingers to the right side of the mat, and then use the left hand. You're going to gently press the left knee away from you as you go into a side bend. So it's not a super deep one. You might even come onto your right forearm if you have the space. For me, it's a little too much for my rib cage. Just gently pressing the left knee away as you lean more to the right. Good. Slowly press this away. Walk the right fingers in, and you'll switch sides. The right hand's going to come onto the right knee. Whether your legs are extended, you're cross-legged or butterfly, the left hand's going to begin to walk you out to the left. So you're just kind of leaning to the left. And then you'll press the right knee away from you with the right hand as the left side is leaning to the left. Drop your head to the left as well, so you get a little stretch in the neck. One more breath here. Let the head start to lift. Walk your hands back to center. From here, we're going to take a bit of a twist. Start with your left hand in front of your legs. They might be at the center of your legs if your legs are extended forwards. You can also take your left hand just to the outside of your legs on your knees as well. We're going to keep it a little more open at this point. And then from here, you're just simply going to start to twist your body to the right, using the left hand as an anchor so the right shoulder can begin to pull back. From there, place your right hand behind your right hip, whether it's on the mat or your chair. And then to take this a little bit deeper, move your left hand over to your right knee and just gently press on the knee to assist the twist. Gaze is going to turn to the right, but try to never turn your gaze past what your shoulder can do, so we're not straining your neck. Take one more breath here. And now slowly release your gaze to center first, and then the shoulders. Give yourself a little move, maybe a roll of the shoulders, move out the rib cage. Sit up again, nice and tall. Right hand's going to come to center for now. Left hand will eventually go behind your hip, but for now, keep it at the knee and start to twist just from the shoulders a little bit to the left. So notice what range of motion you have first in the ribs and shoulders by themselves. And then take the left hand behind your left hip onto the floor or your chair. Take your right hand over to your left knee and then assist the twist by pressing against the knee. Try not to create the twist. By pressing against the knee, you should already be in your twist. Looking towards the left shoulder, but not past. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Good, now slowly bring your gaze back to center first, and then let the shoulders release. Again, you're going to move a little bit through the rib cage and shoulders, just release any tension you might have felt from that twist. Last thing from this seated position, you're simply going to drop your chin to your chest, let your head go nice and heavy. Good, now lift the chin to neutral, and then up to the ceiling until you feel a stretch in the front of your throat. Good, slowly back to neutral. And now drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Bring your left shoulder down away from your left ear. You can even reach the left fingertips slightly out and away from the shoulder. Good. Bring your left hand back to neutral, your head back to neutral, left ear to left shoulder. We'll switch sides. For a little more, the right fingertips will reach outwards to the right. Good. Bring your hands back to your knees, your head back to neutral. Take a couple light pendulums from side to side. Maybe a few shoulder rolls up and back. From here, I'm going to remove the pillow from under my hips. Feel free to stay seated on the pillow if you like that extra padding. We're going to uncross your legs at this point and extend both legs forwards out in front of you. So from here, I'm going to start to work a little bit more on the joint freeing series for the lower body, from hips down to toes. So you'll sit legs extended forwards any amount. You might keep a soft bend in your knees, and you can always take that pillow, place it under your knees so you're not feeling any strain. Actually feels really good, so I think I'm going to leave my pillow there. From here, we're going to start walking your hands back behind you. You can face the fingertips forwards towards the hips for a little bit different stretch in the wrists. You can also face the fingertips back if that's what feels better for you. I'm going to take a little back bend here. So imagine you were lounging on the beach. Let the body kind of soften and then slowly start to press the hands into the floor. Start to lift your chest, pull your shoulder blades back, and look up towards the ceiling, arching into the spine. Hold for 3, 2. Good. Pull the low rib cage back. Let your chin come to neutral. Walk your hands in, and for a moment, we're going to find what's called staff pose. Stacking the body, shoulders over hips. You'll place both palms on either side of your hips, and then from there, press the palms down into the floor as if you were trying to lift yourself upwards from here. You're going to lengthen through the spine, sit up nice and tall, and then just the slightest tuck of your chin as if you were trying to press your head into the wall or a car seat behind you. Hold that for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax here. Relax your shoulders, give your wrists a couple circles. Open and close your fingers. Now we're going to work on the feet and ankles. So having the feet flexing forwards, find that flex until you feel the muscles in the front of the ankles and chins kind of engage. And then you're going to point the toes forwards. Do that same thing and hold. Good. We'll do this with the breath. Inhale, flex the feet back, toes towards the knees. Exhale. Good. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now flex the toes to the ceiling. This one's going to feel a little weird. Work at your range of motion. Again, you could do this seated from a chair. We're going to try to rotate the feet to bring the soles together. They're probably not going to come together. And then you're going to rotate them out to neutral facing me. So we'll rotate, try to bring the soles of your feet together, and then open. 3 more like that. Rotate in, open out. Good, rotate in, open out. Last one, rotate in, open, neutral, hold. We're going to draw circles now. You can rest the heels on the floor if you were lifting the feet like me. It's a little bit of a strain. You're going to take the circles in the same direction, or the feet in the same direction, circling. And then we're going to reverse that direction. You might hear all the crackle pops of my ankles. They like to sound like fireworks. Okay, come back to center. Now we're going to draw in and out circles. This one's especially good for your hips. So we'll take the feet away from each other, try to rotate from the hip, point the toes, and then bring them back together. Flex, open, point, together, flex, open, point, together. Couple more like that. Good, now we're going to reverse those circles. So you'll point, open, flex, together. Point, open, flex, together. Point, open, flex, together. Few more here. And there go my ankles. Once you feel like you're even, both directions, give the legs a good shake out, kind of adjust in your seat. If you have a pillow under your knees, at this point you might remove that pillow. It might get in the way of what we're going to do next. I'm just going to slide the pillow out of the side. Again, you can always sit on your pillow too. If you're sitting on the floor, if you're in a chair, you should be fine where you are. So we're going to let this left leg kind of hang out and relax. We're going to lift the right leg. Hands are going to go underneath your right leg. The right leg's lifting any amount. Take an inhale here. Now as you exhale, we're going to bring the knee as close to the chest as you can. Try and get the heel as close to the hip as you can. Inhale, now extend it. You're going to also take the hands to the outside, bend the knee in, squeeze. I'm going to do that 5 more times. Inhale, extend. The leg might start to go higher. Exhale, bend in. Good. 4, 3, 2, last one, inhale. Good, rebend the knee, squeeze your heel into your hip. Hold here, set the foot down. You're going to inhale, lift the chest, and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Extend your right leg, give your hips a little shift. We're going to do the same thing now on the left side. So we'll start just by lifting the left leg slightly, hands behind the knee for support. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, draw the knee in, drawing the heel as close to the hip as you can. Inhale, re-extend your leg. Again, you might flip the grip to the front of the knee to get it a little tighter into the chest. And then inhale, extend. At this point, the leg might start going higher. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale. And inhale. We've got 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. And inhale. Good. Bend the knee. Hold. Set the foot down. Inhale, you're going to lift the chest, sit as tall as you can, almost like you were in cow pose. 3, 2, and 1. Extend your left leg forwards. Last thing from this seated position. Now we're going to take your legs out into a straddle. Give yourself a little wiggle from side to side. And the legs are going out as wide as it's comfortable for you. If you feel too much strain on the inner knees, you might take a more narrow stance. If you want a deeper stretch for the inner thighs, you might take the feet a little wider. You want to be sitting towards the bony part of your bum. So we want to kind of walk the hips to that point, just so that the tailbone's not tilting upwards towards the nose and you're not sitting towards the back of your hips. You're forwards, shoulders over hips. Now from here, we're going to rotate the toes out as wide as you can, trying to get those little toes to touch the floor. Then you're going to bring the feet up to neutral and try to rotate them in so the big toes come towards each other. Again, you're working in your range of motion. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, open. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, close. Few more here. Neutral on the inhale. Exhale to rotate. Back to center, inhale. Exhale to rotate. Good, couple more. Inhale. Open. Inhale, in. One more time each side. Back to center. Exhale, open. Good, back to center. And rotate in. Come back to neutral. Maybe notice where you might have felt that from leg to leg. For me, I feel a little bit in my left side more than I do on my right side. Slide both hands underneath your knees. Slowly lift the knees with the hands so you're not straining from the groin or the knees themselves. Move anything out of the way that's on your mat. We're going to come back to your tabletop or your hands and knees, and feel free to use a pillow for underneath your knees as well if you want that extra padding. We'll roll over, coming to hands and knees once again. Stacking shoulders over wrists, but be mindful that the wrists are just slightly forwards of the shoulders. So you have a light crease in your wrist rather than a heavy crease. Make sure your hands are at least shoulder width. It's not slightly wider. If you have sensitive wrists, tighter shoulders, you might take the hands a little wider than your shoulders. Fingers spread out as wide as possible without straining will give you a bigger base as well for your wrists. From here, we're going to move through a reverse cat-cow this time. As you inhale, press the floor away from you, round through the spine, tuck the chin to chest. Now, as you exhale, start to lift the tail, lower your belly, pull your heart forwards and up. Good, inhale, cat pose, rounding through your spine. Exhale, cow pose, finding the arch as the belly lowers, heart pulls forwards. Couple more here, inhale. And exhale. 3, inhale. Exhale. 2. Last one. From here, find a neutral position. Back nice and straight, low belly pulled in, low rib cage pulled in. Press the floor away from you. Take your left knee a little more towards the center of your mat for balance. We're going to extend your right leg back behind you, ball of the foot to the floor. Begin with just a couple gentle rocks back and forth along the ball of the foot to get a little bit of movement into your ankle, calf. Draw a few circles, circling around the ball of the foot. And then back the other direction. Good, and then we'll hold neutral. From here, check that your hips are squared, both hip bones pointing down towards the mat. Inhale, lift your heel no higher than your hip, so the toes just might barely lift from the floor. Think about rotating here from the hip, but not from the back. So it's going to be a little bit tricky. What you're going to do is try to rotate your toes out to the right without removing the hips themselves. Then you're going to rotate the toes to the ground so the heel faces the ceiling. Good. Rotate the toes outwards from the hip itself, not the low back. And then rotate the toes back to the floor. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Rotate the toes out. And and then back down. So this one's strengthening your piriformis, which is really important if you have sciatic issues. Sometimes that piriformis can become weak and strained, presses on the sciatic nerve, and you start to have low back pain. Let's do a couple more. Good job. As the toes point down, you're going to draw your right knee into your chest one time to release. And then go ahead and set your right knee down to meet your left. From here, we're going to take a little break on your wrist, coming into child's pose, sending your hips back towards your heels, letting your forehead rest towards the floor. You might place your pillow between your hips and heels, or even have your hips a little more forwards over your knees if this pose is a bit difficult for the knees. If you are in a chair, you can always just fold forwards over your legs as well. We're going to take about 4 more breaths here. Curl your fingers a few times in and out of fists. Get some blood moving back into the wrists and forearms. Good, now palms back to your mat. Inhale, come back forwards, back to your hands and knees. Stacking shoulders back over your wrists. Now you're going to take your right knee just a little more towards the center of your mat for balance. Take your left leg, extend your left leg back behind you, ball of the foot to the floor. Couple little rocks back and forth. A few circles, circling around the ball of your foot. Both directions. Good, and then we'll hold it center. Again, check that the hips are even and square. Both hip bones pointing down. Quick check too that you're not dropping the belly and arching your back. Really press the floor away, engage the core. Lift your heel no higher than your hip. Again, the toes might barely leave the mat. From here, pay attention to the hips moving. If you had a block on your low back, that block shouldn't move. You're going to rotate the left toes out to the left and then down to the floor. Good, rotate out to the left and down to the floor. Out to the left, down to the floor. Couple more. Out to the left, down to the floor. Little check of the low back. Make sure the belly's not dropping. Last one. Down to the floor. Good. Now soften the knee. Draw it into your chest. Round your spine as if you were going into cat. Set your knee down to meet your right. Both knees at center. I'm going to take a couple windshield wipers of your hips from side to side. You can take the palms a little wider on this one. It'll give you a little more range of motion. If you were in the chair, you'd be swaying the knees side to side. Good. From here, we're going to let the hips come all the way to one side once again. Take shifting the knees to one side. Drop your hips back down to the floor. Bring your legs around and forwards out in front of you. Facing the top of your mat. Once more, extend the arms forwards. Curl your fingers in and out of fists. Release the wrists. Circle out the wrists. A few times one direction, a few times in the other. Inhale, take your arms over your head. Exhale, let the arms float down. Now inhale, reach your arms forwards. We're going to lie back on your back from here. I'll go one vertebrae at a time. If that's too much for your low back, please roll to one side and elbow come to the floor that way. You'll go other ways, one vertebrae at a time. If you are in a chair, you'll just remain seated, but come into a really comfortable seated position, maybe placing a pillow behind you. Once you get to the floor, big stretch, reach your arms over your head, stretch from your fingers to your toes. Take again a couple curls in and out of the fingers, flex and point your feet. One more big inhale here. As you exhale, bring first your left knee into your chest, and then your right. Both knees will get a hug. You can place your palms at the front of your shins below your knees. as you hug the knees into the chest or belly. Now place your palms at your kneecaps and begin to draw gentle circles, circling your knees around your hips so that your low back gets a massage. Take your circles in the other direction. And now we'll take these circles in and out. So palms to the kneecaps, take your knees out, a little forwards, back together, and into the chest. A few more circles in this direction. If you were in a chair, you would do this just folding forwards and circling your upper body around your knees rather than the knees themselves. Reverse the direction of the circles. Good. Now, as you circle the knees out, we're going to hold the knees outwards a little bit wider. Palms can again come to the base of the kneecap or just below the knee, front of the shin as you hug your knees in. Take a couple deep breaths here. If you were in your chair, you'd be folding forwards with the knees nice and wide. Now place your palms behind your knees, still hugging the knees in towards the outside of the body. Flex both feet to the ceiling. You're in a happy baby position. If you were in your chair, you'd still be folding forwards between wide legs. You could walk your hands down, grabbing a hold of your shins or your ankles. If you're on your back and you want a little bit more, start to walk the hands up. But make sure your forearms are on the insides of your shins. You could reach for your ankles, or if accessible, you might reach for your feet, inner outer edges, or even the big toes. I'm going to press the knees towards the floor outside of the rib cage and shoulders. And you're trying to get the spine as flat as you can. So pressing the low spine down, the tailbone down. Couple breaths here. Good, now slowly again start to release the feet. Place the palms back behind the knees. Let the heels drop back towards the hips. Move your palms back to the kneecaps themselves, and we'll draw a couple more circles. Taking it back the other direction. And then holding it center, some circles with the knees together. Back the other direction. Keeping your right knee drawn into your chest. From here, you're either going to set the left foot down on the mat or extend your left leg forwards in front of you if that's comfortable for your low back. If you're seated in a chair, you'll just keep the left foot bent. You can extend the left leg forwards, but it might throw you off a little bit from your seat. I'm going to take your hands behind your right knee now. Point your right toes. And once your right toes are pointed, inhale, extend the right leg to the ceiling. Does not have to go all the way straight. You're working on your range of motion. Once your leg is extended, take a big flex of the foot. Bring the toes towards your knee. Hold there for a solid breath. And now with your foot flexed, start to re-bend the knee into your chest. Trying to keep that foot flexed until the knee is completely bent. Once bent, point the toes. Now inhale, extend your leg. Good. Exhale, flex the foot and hold a solid breath. With the foot flexed, try to re-bend the knee without losing the flex. Good, couple more. Point the toes. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, flex the foot. Solid breath here to hold. Keeping the foot flexed, slowly rebend your knee. Last one, point the toes. Inhale, extend. Hold the extension, flex the foot. Hold the flex. Good, hold the flex as you slowly rebend your knee. Once the knee's rebent, circle the ankle a couple of times. Now bring your left knee back up to meet your right, and we'll switch legs. Again, you could simply just set the right foot down on the floor, or if accessible, feel free to extend your right leg forwards. Now with the left knee bent, point your left toes. Inhale, extend your left leg. Once the leg is extended, find that flex of your foot, toes to knee. Hold a solid breath. Now trying to keep the foot flexed, you'll slowly start to rebend your knee. Point your toes. Inhale, extend your leg. Exhale, flex. Hold solid breath with the foot flexed. Go ahead, now try to hold the flex as you rebend your knee. Couple more. Point the toes. Inhale, extend your leg. Exhale, flex your foot. Solid breath here. Good, hold your flex, bend the knee. We've got one more. Inhale, point the toes. Extend. Exhale, flex, hold. Hold the flex as you rebend your knee. Once the knee is bent, circle the ankle, let it relax. Last time, bring your right knee up to meet your left. Give both knees a solid hug. Rock it a few times side to side. Now set both of your feet down on the floor. Take the feet a little wider than your hips and let your knees windshield wiper from side to side. Knees should be staggered. From here, feel free to reach for anything that might assist in comforting or supporting your body for final relaxation. So you might reach for a pillow, place that pillow under your head. You might also place your pillow under your knees. You can always keep the knees bent as well. And if you're in a chair, feel free to reach for a pillow to add a bit of a recline to your chair as well. So slowly, if comfortable, extend your legs forwards any amount, maybe taking the legs and feet a little wider so the hips can rotate open, the feet can rotate open. Let your palms fall wide. And if you're in a chair, they might fold over your lap or any other comfortable position. And draw the shoulders down, the shoulder blades together and down. From here, drop your right ear over towards the right side of the back. Take a breath. Bring your head back to center and to your left. Bring your head back to center. Find just the slightest tuck of your chin. Try to lengthen the back of your neck. Maybe reset the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let your whole body go heavy. Its entire weight releasing to the floor, to the chair, whatever might be supporting it. Feeling that support rise to hold your full weight. Starting at your toes, begin to soften each toe. Soften the arches of your feet. Soften your heels, feeling your feet grow heavier as they sink down into the floor. Soften your ankles, calves and shins. Soften the front and back of your knees and thighs. Soften your glutes. Feel your hips go heavy, your pelvis open. Soften your low back. Soften your belly, letting it fully expand like a balloon. Soften your rib cage, your collarbones, shoulder blades and shoulders. Soften your upper arms, elbows, forearms and wrists. Soften your palms and each one of your fingers. Soften your throat. Allow the air to flow freely, as if a faucet were fully open. Soften your neck so that your head could get a little heavier. Soften your jaw. Allow your teeth to part and your tongue to release from the back of your mouth. Soften your cheekbones, inner ears, eyelids. Soften the space between your eyebrows and the skin across your forehead. Soften all the way across your scalp, front to back. Again, getting just a little heavier. And now soften your breath until you can barely hear yourself breathe. And then soften your mind, letting go of any thoughts that no longer serve you. Allowing yourself to just be here in this moment with your body, with your breath. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Start to bring awareness to your feet and wiggle your toes. Flex and point. Circle your ankles. Bring your awareness to your hands, wiggling fingers, running thumbs across fingertips. Circle your wrists. Inhale, stretch long as if you've just woken from the morning nap. Exhale, draw your knees into your chest and give yourself one last final hug. Another moment here to pause. Gentle rock side to side. Eventually allowing yourself to roll to one side, your right or your left, whichever feels more comfortable today. Take a full deep breath in And a long, complete breath out. See if your head can be the very last thing to lift. And slowly begin to lift yourself once more back up to seated. Come into whatever comfortable seat feels best. Let your hands rest heavy on your knees. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Exhale all the air from your lungs. Next breath in, now circle your arms out wide, taking the palms up and in. Connecting your palms, maybe gaze up to see your thumbs touch. Exhale, slowly trace your midline, hands to the center of your chest. Thank you for joining me today, sharing your practice with me. Namaste.